everyone, welcome back to my channel and the second part of my Under the Sea cake topper series. So today I'm going to show you how to make these fondant seashells. So to make them I simply used some white sugar paste, or you might know it as fondant, and just to strengthen it a little bit I added a little bit of CMC powder to my paste. This turns it into a little bit of a modelling paste which makes it a little bit firmer and able to hold its shape. And then here you can see I've coloured a little bit of the white fondant using hot pink food colouring place by Sugar Flare, and you can see here that I've not mixed the colour all the way through because I wanted a little bit of a marble effect. And if you want to know how to colour fondant, I also have a tutorial for this and I'll put a link to that in the description. Okay, so firstly I'm going to make the scallop type shell, and to begin with I've just got a bit of the white paste and I'm just breaking some little bits of the pink paste off. I'm going to mix these together so I get a nice marble effect. So I'm not going to mix them too much because if not you'll just get a light pink. Just going to mix them very gently together until I've got the marble effect that I want. Okay, so I'm happy with the marble effect and I'm now going to roll out my sugar paste to about 2 to 3 millimeters thick. And now I'm just going to take a small circle cutter and then I'm just going to cut out some circles. Just so you know, I'll put a link to everything that I use in this tutorial in the description so you can take a closer look later. So now I'm just going to pop the circle cutter on top of them again and just move them around just to make sure I've got some nice clear edges. And you can see the marble effect there, so you might prefer the marble effect underneath, and that's fine, just turn it over if you do. Okay, so now I'm just going to cut a little bit off each side at diagonal. So we're going to start getting the clam shape now. It's not a very big bit, and you can see you're getting a nice little point there as well. Okay, so now I'm just going to use my knife tool just to go around and just mark a little dent where it mirrors where the point will be, and then go along to do 4 even dents either side of that. Hope you can see that there. And this is now a guide for us just to score some little lines onto our shell. And as you kind of score down, it will gently elongate your paste and give you more of a shell shape too. Just going to neaten the edge there. So I'm just going to repeat that with the other side, and there I hope you can see the shell forming. Just going to pick that up and show you that a little bit closer. So now I'm just going to go with my little knife tool and just make the edges a little bit more defined. At the end of this video I'll also show you how I make my shell sparkle. And there you can see the marble effect. So now I'm just rolling a little bit more of that paste out, so we can cut out a little shape just for the bottom of the clam shell. So I'm firstly going to cut a nice straight edge at the bottom there. And then I'm going to cut both sides at an angle. And then cut a line across the top. Just going to check that for size. I think that's alright. Just going to shape that further with my knife before adding a little bit of clear alcohol, or you could use an edible glue, and I'm going to stick that into position. If you find this tutorial useful, please do give it a thumbs up as it really helps my little channel. So I'm just using my knife tool again just to make sure that the little indents are everything that I want them to be. So as this is a clam, I wanted to have a little bit of a curve effect, and to do that I used a 1 teaspoon measuring spoon. I just made sure that the actual paste was not sticky before I popped it in there, and then I just left it in there to dry, and then you can see here that it dried in a nice curved shape for your shell. You could use the back of a spoon maybe, but that just gives you that nice curved effect for when it's dry. So next we're going to make the long shell, which you can see in the corner there. And firstly I'm just going to mix the leftover sugar paste that I had for the clam shell. And if you mix it a little bit more you're going to get a little bit of a different colour for this one. So what I'm going to do is I've rolled it into a ball, and now I'm going to roll it into a sausage shape. And I'm just going to use my cake smoother here because that will help not have any ridges, which my fingers would do. But what I'm doing is I'm making it thinner at one end. So it's thicker on the left side as you look at it and thinner on the right. Okay, so now what I've got is a toothpick. I'm just going to trim the edge there because it's a little bit too long. Okay, so I'm just adding a little bit of clear alcohol along the side of my paste. And now I'm going to pick up my toothpick and I'm going to start winding the paste around the toothpick from the larger end down to the smaller end. And you can see you're getting your nice shell shape. Okay, so I'm just going to pull out the toothpick, secure the end there. And then I'm just going to take my ball tool and I'm just going to create a little hole at the top there. And that is pretty much that shell made. If you wanted to, you could use a knife tool just to create a few little indents for some texture. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how I made the coiled shell, and for this I'm just using some white sugar paste, which I'm again forming into a tube, and then using my cake smoother to further elongate the tube and make it narrower at one end and wide at the other, just like we did before. Okay, there we go. Just going to trim that because it's a little bit too long. And now again, I'm just using my knife tool just to go around and score some indents. I'm going to evenly place them out all along the tube. Remember, if you need to take a look at any of the items that I've used in this tutorial, I will put links to them in the description. Okay, so now I've done that, I'm just smoothing it all off with a dry brush. And now I'm just going to add some clear alcohol down one side of the tube. And I'm simply just going to coil this up. And there's the shell. So lastly, I'm just going to take my board tool and create a little hole at the end there. And then just like the other shells, I leave them to dry overnight. Okay, so now I'm just going to show you how I made a little sparkle on my shells, and for this I used a pearl white luster dust. And you can see I'm just using a brush just to paint it all over the dried shells, and you can see that nice shimmer appearing, which I thought was a nice effect for the shells. So you just put it on some kitchen towel, and then you can keep dabbing it off onto the towel so you don't put too much on your shells, you just want to build up the effect. And there you can see instantly that the pearl white luster dust is bringing the shells to life. Okay, and that's your fondant shells made. I really hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. Please do check out my other ones. Please comment, like and subscribe for more, and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching.